Hey guys, Bobby here. I just wanted to talk about Sebenza 25 versus the 21. So a lot of you guys might be on the fence. You know, you might already own a 21, or you might own this 21 and you're thinking about getting a 25, which 25 is a great knife, or you're just thinking about which one should I get. And so I figure I'll do some comparisons, talk about what I like, what I don't like, what they could have improved on, and you know, just give comparisons. But overall, you know, I like both these knives. I mean, they are great knives. I've had this one the longest. This is my my first Chris Reeve knife right here. Sebenza 21 with the micarta inlays, and I mean, this knife is, you know, almost perfect. After having the 25, you know, there are a few things that I wish that that the 25 has that I wish the 21 had, and also vice versa. There's things that I wish, you know, obviously the 25 had that the 21 has. So a combination of the two would probably be, you know, the perfect Sebenza. But so we'll start off with we'll go right to 25. You know, 25 has a flatter grind as opposed to the 21's hollow grind, which the cutting performance on this one is going to be better. But for everyday tasks, you know, things that you know, at least I do around the house and at work or wherever, I mean, both knives are definitely suitable. And but the 25 has a beefier pivot, no pivot bushing. So what makes this 21 so special is, you know, you can tighten that pivot down all the way, and it'll always be that smooth. You know, the Sebenza smoothness that you hear about. It'll always just, you know, have that super smooth opening. Where this, the 25, yeah, it has a beefier pivot, but if you screw that down too hard, you know, it's going to be too hard to open or close. The lock bar. So Chris Reeve knives generally have later lockups than other knives. But Chris Reeve did invent the frame lock. But in this knife, where this is titanium on the tang, you know, this one has that pivot ball, which let's see if we can see it. I think you can see it right there, right in there. It has that pivot ball where the ceramic ball actually makes contact with the tang, and that'll, you know, give the lock bar a longer life. And it also acts as the detent ball. If you can see, let's see if we can see that little detent hole. Let's see. Right before it closes. See, oh, there it is. So right there, you can see the detent hole. So that ball slides into place and locks that knife closed. So that's what keeps it closed, is that ball. You know, the pressure from the lock bar wanting to slide in, that ball just locks into that hole right there and keeps it in place. And that adds a good bit of detent, which makes this knife, you know, really fun to flick. You know, flick open. I mean, it flicks with authority. And I really like that about this knife. You know, a lot of knife guys, you know, we like to sit around and play with our knives, or, you know, whenever you open it, sometimes you just like to give it a good flick. Which I know Chris Reeve, you know, if you send it back in after a while and you wear that stop pin out, I mean, you know, they'll charge you for it. But I believe that's a really cheap part. If you're sending it in anyway to get it refurbished, you know, a spa treatment, I mean, that's not bad. But So with the 25, some of the differences, if you look at the screws here, they're a lot flatter than the 25 screws. 25 screws stick out quite a bit more. As you can see, I mean, that's almost flush, where these, stick out some. But it doesn't add to, like, I mean, you don't feel it, doesn't have any hot spots, but it is a difference where the screws stick out quite a bit more. I have noticed too, this does come with Loctite, to Loctite the pivot, but I would suggest Loctiting, in particular, these screws back here. These screws come loose on me quite a bit. I've had to tighten it at least 3-4 times, and I've owned this for maybe about 3 months now. But you'll notice it when you're opening and closing it. Something will just fill a little off. You hear a little shakiness. You hear the shakiness, and it's these 2 screws, and I just tighten them down. But I'm gonna Loctite them because I'd hate to lose a screw. But so this has better cutting performance, beefier pivot. Let's see. Obviously the new finger grooves, which are very comfortable, but the Sebenza 21 is also comfortable. Zoom out some. But Sebenza 21 is really comfortable also. I like it. I do wish this had the detent that this has. It's not too much. It's really just perfect. Smoothness wise, they're both extremely smooth. I haven't adjusted the pivot since I got it. I just left it the way it was, and just extremely smooth. 21, that is, it's glass. But both of them, you look at the fit and finish. It's what you would expect from Chris Reeve. Perfect centering. Everything's perfect. I do wish that the 25 had a lanyard pin. I do like that a lot. I like the lanyards. I've said it before in some of my other videos, but when you're sitting in the car or you're sitting down, I always just grab the lanyard and pull it out my pocket. So, I just like the lanyard pin more. Add the lanyard pin. Said it before, add a pivot bushing, and get rid of that notch. And this would probably be the perfect knife to me. Let's see. I've showed this before. Pocket clips. You see how that little bit of space right there where this is closer? That just feels a little better. So I definitely give a same exact pocket clip though. Nice and flush. I like that where they mill out they mill out a little bit just to get that flush. And the pocket clip has a two detents, so whenever you put it in your pants, this slides into your pocket and that just holds onto it just a little better. And it's the only pocket clip that I know out of any knife that does that. So lock bar cut out on this one. See the lock bar, it's a little more, it's cut in a little more, so it gives you easier to close it, to move that knife over. That one's not as much, but it's it's not too hard. Sebenza 21 is easier though. But overall, I've kind of pointed out everything I like about both these knives. Both are terrific knives. Blade shape. I think the 21 actually looks a little more aggressive to me. With that swoop right there. And this is almost more oval. I called it oval-y before, but I guess maybe bullnose is the right term. But overall, if you're on the fence, you're probably going to end up owning both. I own both, and I do like them both. I didn't want to get the plain Jane one I was gonna hold out to, you know, either Wilson Combat comes out with one, or they have an inlaid one, but I ended up getting this one. I do like the double thumb studs. I kind of wish if I ever send this in for a spa treatment or anything, I'm gonna add a thumb stud to it. But you know, it doesn't bother me that this one doesn't have a beefy pivot. I mean, that pivot there is not gonna fail. I'm not gonna be using my knife and the pivot breaks. So I mean, that's more than enough for anything I'm gonna use it for. And you know, so I've showed this before, but so you can see the lanyard, I mean the stop pin. You know how Chris Reeve does the lines right there, and that's so the pocket lint doesn't collect on it. I notice they're not doing it no more. The jimping on the 25 is better. I mean, it just is. This one's still good. I mean, it's decent to me, but this one is more aggressive. You can tell the pattern there. Get a side view. It's definitely more aggressive. Idaho made on each of them, so that hasn't changed. You can see where this line comes a little further back, where the blade is a little further forward on this. Also sticks out quite a little bit more. This is more flushed. I think that, you know, aesthetically that looks better. But I do like the double thumb studs on this. Overall, I mean, both terrific knives. You can't go wrong with either one. They're both, you know, this is a classic. This is gonna be. So, you really can't go wrong with either one. I've been carrying this one quite a bit lately, so it's definitely growing on me. I don't want to say that I like it better, where, you know, who knows, in a couple months, it's, you know, that might change. I definitely like both these though. You know, I think they're both worth owning. I do like Chris Reeve knives a lot. I know I see comments on other YouTube pages where people wonder, you know, a $400 knife, and really until you get a Chris Reeve and you know, a Sebenza, and the first day that you own it, you might not be blown away. I mean, regardless, it's still a knife, you know, but after owning it for a while, you will start to appreciate, you know, the fit and finish, the quality that, you know, that these knives are made with. And you know, you'll start to notice it over probably any of, you know, unless you have some custom knives, but and even, you know, it really stacks up compared to those. I mean, but I don't know if you guys have seen, Blade HQ has the shop tour where Chris Reeve gives them a shop tour on, you know, his factory where they make these, and it's an impressive video. So both overall great knives, and hopefully that, you know, that kind of made you decide if you want to get one or the other, or you know, if you're going to get both like I did. So, well, alright guys, thanks for watching, and I appreciate it. Thanks. Bye.